Welcome to Amazement, a conversation about artificial intelligence and its impact on our lives, work, and society as a whole. I'm Maria, a surgical resident interested in exploring how AI is transforming the field of medicine and healthcare.
And I'm Donna, a technology business owner and entrepreneur. I'm exploring how AI is reshaping business and employment. Like many of you, Maria and I use generative AI tools now, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude, and we want to know more about AI's growing influence in our daily lives.
Our podcast name, Amazement, honors my aunt and Donna's sister, Dr. Mary Ann Donovan, also known as Maze, whose work at the UPMC Hillman Cancer Center embodied the integration of science, medicine, and innovation that we're seeing with AI today.
We're here because we want to share what we're learning about artificial intelligence, bringing together perspectives from healthcare and technology. All right, so today we're diving into the book Super Agency by Reid Hoffman and Greg Beto. Reid is the co founder of LinkedIn, and he's also a leading technology investor. The main idea behind the book is simple. What if artificial intelligence could give all of us more agency in our lives, helping us solve problems, make better decisions, and unlock new opportunities? Hoffman's vision isn't really about robots taking over, which is the vision a lot of people express when talking about AI. Instead, Hoffman says it's about technology amplifying what makes us human. So, super agency means giving everyone access to superpowers through artificial intelligence, much like how cars expanded our ability to travel or the internet changed how we communicate. So imagine if the kinds of help that once required specialists like tutors, researchers, or advisors were available to anyone and everyone through AI. That's the promise at the core of this book.
The book argues that artificial intelligence doesn't necessarily have to be a threat to humanity. Instead, properly developed and deployed AI can actually amplify human agency, giving individuals even greater capabilities to think, decide, create, and act. What do you think of the word super agency, Donna?
Humans have agency, and with the help of artificial intelligence, that agency is supercharged. And I think he's on to something. I think it's a very good point. One of the things that I remember when I read the book is the reference to synthetic intelligence and compared the synthetic intelligence that artificial intelligence offers humans to the synthetic energy that the steam engine provided to humans. The steam engine being extra capability and extra energy that was made available to humans, and how that extra energy was applied in so many different ways. And I think that's a very good analogy, actually, because AI supercharges human intelligence. It lets one person write, research, analyze, translate, brainstorm, and even code at a level and a speed that used to require teams of experts. So you can kind of think of it this way: the Industrial Revolution said, what if we could attach engines to our bodies? And the cognitive industrial revolution says, what if we could attach engines to our thinking?
It's a really interesting comparison, and I think it beautifully captures how AI is transforming the world we're in today.
I think it's the focus on the human. And again, the reference to superagency suggests that artificial intelligence is a tool that just gives superpowers to the human and access to information, ideas, strategies, so much that a whole team of people used to be required to able that much capability. And now you have a single tool, artificial intelligence, that can do all of that with you and for you. It's just supercharging and superpowering the human.
They're saying the steam engine freed human physical labor, AI is freeing human cognitive labor. And both of these advances are creating or can create leaps in productivity by
Mhm.
giving people massively amplified power on demand.
So think about personalized learning, for example. If you have a student who's struggling with math, he or she can get tailored explanations. An AI will work with that individual until he or she gets it. Another example would be a nurse having instant access to the latest medical knowledge. Entrepreneurs can quickly test ideas. It's like having a business consultant at your fingertips that you can pass ideas by and expedite so much. And again, supercharge what you're doing individually. I think a lot of people are finding AI is an excellent collaborator.
You gave a lot of interesting examples. And I think a lot of people, when they hear the word AI, their mind goes straight to tech companies.
Mhm.
Is that what Hoffman focuses on? Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Actually, Hoffman and Beto really want us to see AI as a tool for everyone. That means students, gig workers, parents, small business owners, individuals who work for small companies, large companies. It's about making complex skills, insights, and opportunities available to people who might never have had access like this before. So the book is filled with examples showing how AI can help ordinary people do extraordinary things.
That's exciting and mirrors the perception that you bring to this podcast. Why do you feel so hopeful and why does Hoffman appear so hopeful in this book?
I think, first of all, Hoffman and Beach acknowledge that there are concerns about artificial intelligence, but they argue that we shouldn't let fear dictate the future. And I agree with that. Instead, we should steer AI in the right direction. And we can do that through public participation and smart regulation. Hoffman and Beto see a future where AI and people work together. So rather than slow progress out of caution, we are urged to deploy AI thoughtfully. Let's learn from our mistakes and make sure that the benefits are widespread. And to me, that's a hopeful, active, proactive approach and one that's about expanding what's possible for all of us. And I really hope that everyone just takes advantage of this unbelievable opportunity to develop superpowers with the help of AI.
So, Donna, it seems like you
Mhm.
really enjoyed this book and you have a lot of positive things to say about this. What do you think our listeners should take away from this discussion?
Let's say if you're curious about where technology is headed, or if you just want practical insight into how AI might improve your own life, Super Agency is a really good book to read. The call to action in the book is clear. Instead of asking what could go wrong, consider what could go right and your role in shaping that future. And one quote that I think captures this optimism is the surest way to prevent a bad future is to steer toward a better one. So as you listen to or read the book, think about how AI can help you learn, create, and or solve problems. That personal curiosity and participation, that's the real superpower that this book wants to ignite in all of us.
Great way to close out the segment, Donna. And for our listeners, if you do give the book a read, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Ready to catch up on what's moving the AI world forward?
This is AI Update, where we explore key developments in policy, research, and innovation.
For our AI update today, we wanted to talk about AI in education, specifically how there have been lower test scores in the US and how AI tutors can possibly help. So, US student test scores in math and reading have dropped to historic lows in recent years, prompting educators to search for new ways to support learners. AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude are stepping in as accessible and adaptable tutors, offering personalized learning in and outside of the classroom.
So AI tools like ChatGPT serve as virtual tutors, breaking down math problems, helping with writing, or providing quick explanations for science concepts. Perplexity stands out for delivering research help and cited answers, letting students confidently work on essays or projects. Gemini integrates with Google Classroom and automatically generates quizzes or summarized readings. And Claude's safety features and ability to guide nuanced conversations make it a supportive choice for brainstorming and revision.
So, an example, a middle schooler might use ChatGPT to get step by step help with algebra homework. A high schooler student could use Gemini to make flashcards after uploading class notes. Perplexity can guide a research project by surfacing relevant citation backed information, while Claude can offer multiple ideas for creative writing tasks. You could use any of these tools for these tasks.
Those are really good examples, Maria, and a good point that we're not saying you have to use any one AI for a specific task. They all can do all of these things. And it really just it's a matter of trying each one of them and see which one you prefer for this specific requirement. In general, AI chatbots provide instant personalized feedback, and that helps students learn at his or her own pace. Your AI is an excellent fill in for when the teacher can't be there. And they're especially valuable in situations where access to human tutors is limited.
I couldn't imagine if I had these tools, especially going through medical school. A lot of us studied via making flashcards, and it took a lot of time to make these
Yes.
flashcards. And I took all of my notes on a computer or on a tablet. So if I had an AI to make me comprehensive study guides based off the notes I took, I would have saved so much time.
And it's time that you're not really learning if you're just creating flashcards. It must be they're just such a great time saver. So they can spend their time continuing to learn and become supercharged learners.
Great tie-in. Are there any examples that you've come across of how AI is actually being deployed with students or in the classroom?
Yeah, some school districts now deploy Google Gemini to generate individualized practice sets. And they are reporting that there's better engagement during independent studies specifically because if you individualize the practice set, each individual student is getting a tailored instruction. Studies show students using ChatGPT can make learning gains comparable to the learning gains of students with human tutors.
I just want to reiterate, we both do, that the goal is not to replace teachers, but to give every student a chance at personalized support, leveraging strengths from each platform. For example, instant feedback from ChatGPT, reliable sourcing from Perplexity, seamless school integration from Gemini, and empathetic coaching from Claude.
That's an important point. The whole idea is that this is providing support to the student and the teacher to a certain extent. It's just going to be helpful all around. Let's move from headlines to the front lines of medicine.
Welcome to AI Rounds, a closer look at how AI is transforming healthcare from the inside out. All right, for AI Rounds today, we're taking a deep look at something that sounds like a headline that's built just to get clicks online, but it's actually a major shift in how medical AI is going to be built going forward. And that's China's new AI run hospital. This isn't a video, but I'm putting air quotes around hospital because it's not a real hospital. You see the headline AI run hospital and you immediately jump to robots doing surgeries. That's not what this is. And honestly, the real story is much more important and a lot more relevant to anyone who works in healthcare or who's watching how AI is being integrated into medicine. So, Donna, to start off, want to explain to our listeners what the hospital actually is?
There's a university in China that has created what they are calling the world's first AI run hospital, but it's entirely virtual. There are no operating rooms, no physical beds, no human staff. What it actually contains is a massive network of AI clinician models. They're saying around 10,000. And these models are designed to diagnose, triage, and treat synthetic patients inside a computer environment.
Great explanation. So, think of it less like a hospital and more like a simulation lab. It's essentially a controlled environment where you can generate millions of patient encounters instantly to model disease progression, adjust variables, and watch how AI systems actually respond. The reason they built this system isn't to run a fake hospital for its own sake, it's to solve the biggest bottleneck in medical AI: the need for large scale, high quality data in safe testing environments. According to the research team at the university, their virtual hospital system trained a virtual doctor agent on nearly 10,000 synthetic patient cases in a time frame that they project would take human doctors about 2 years. In those tests, the system achieved about a 93% accuracy on a respiratory disease benchmark. They claim the system in simulation can handle scales like thousands of patient cases per day. One source is up to 3,000. Obviously, it's in a virtual setting and not a real clinic, but still, this is huge.
Wow, it sounds like it. And why do they need this, Maria?
Well, this is the part that matters. Right now, medical AI systems take years to develop because they rely on real world patient data. And that data is messy, incomplete, slow to collect, and honestly, it can be ethically tricky to use.
Hmm.
With privacy laws tightening and data sharing becoming harder, it's only getting more complicated.
That's a great point. And on top of that, you really cannot stress test a medical AI tool in the real world without risking patient safety. Because you really can't say, well, let's see how the model handles 300 cases of a rare disease in one day. That's just not possible.
Exactly. So essentially, this virtual AI hospital is creating thousands of scenarios for AI models to train off of. So, the point of this AI hospital is to create a sandbox, a controlled domain where researchers can train medical AI models at a massive scale, expose systems to rare, complex, or dangerous scenarios, things that you're not seeing every day, honestly, or even every year. Run virtual clinical trials, refine diagnostic accuracy across diverse patient types, and catch failures early when they're harmless and not affecting patient care.
So it's basically the medical version of a flight simulator, right? But far more detailed. Maria, what do you think makes this different from anything that we've had before?
Great question, Donna. People might hear this and think, okay, but we've had medical simulations for a while. What's new here? The difference here is scale. The claim is that these AI clinicians can collectively see more patients in a single day than a human doctor sees in their entire career. And because of that, the number of disease progressions they can model, including complications, comorbidities, and typical presentations, is almost limitless. And because these patients are synthetic, you're not limited by real world prevalence rates. So if you want to train a model on 10,000 cases of early stage pancreatic cancer in one afternoon, you can. You can't do that with a doctor because you're not seeing that every day. If
Mhm.
you want to see how AI systems respond to every possible asthma exacerbation scenario, it can be done instantly. Another major difference is the feedback loop is immediate. The system can evaluate its own performance, adjust parameters, and rerun cases and improve within hours instead of months.
Oh, wow. So this will have a real impact on the future of medicine, is my guess.
Definitely. This is where the conversation gets interesting. Let's say this works the way they expect it to. Here's what they envision the changes will be. AI tools will develop dramatically faster, things like diagnostic models, risk predictors, clinical decision support, and all of that can be stress tested at scale before ever reaching a single patient. We'll finally be able to target rare diseases. Since humans have limited exposure to these rare conditions, these models can be trained on thousands of simulated cases of diseases that most clinicians would never see. We may get better triage and early warning systems.
So this doesn't mean AI will be diagnosing patients independently anytime soon. Let's be clear about that.
Definitely not. And there are limitations. We want to stress that this is not a perfect system by any means. Synthetic data is only as good as the assumptions behind it. Simulations don't always translate perfectly to real world complexity. And healthcare is fundamentally relational. No simulation can replace human judgment or empathy. But as a development tool, this is a major step forward. We're essentially watching the creation of a new phase in medical innovation, a preclinical testing environment for AI.
So, the real point of this AI hospital isn't automation or replacing clinicians, it's acceleration. It's about giving medical AI a safe, controlled place to fail and learn. And if it works, it could cut years off the development process for tools that genuinely do support clinicians and improve patient care. That's the real story here. And it's probably the first example of something we're going to see a lot more of.
We've seen how AI is transforming the medical field. Now let's explore its impact across industries.
In this segment, AI at Work, we'll dive into how AI is reshaping careers, business models, and the very nature of work. So, for our AI at Work segment today, we are exploring a company called MERCOR, MERCOR. This is a company at the forefront of bridging human expertise and artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about MERCOR's origins, its mission, and why it matters in the evolving tech landscape. MERCOR was founded just a few years ago in 2023 by a team of Teal Fellows. And these are individuals who are opting, instead of going to college, they go right into an entrepreneurial endeavor. So these three Teal Fellows began with the goal of transforming recruitment in the tech sector through artificial intelligence. The company was incubated in part through the Teal Fellowship and also with support of Dave Blunden, who we talked about in a previous episode. Dave is a founder and managing partner at Link Ventures in Cambridge. Mercor's original mission was to build a truly meritocratic AI driven platform that revolutionizes how companies source, vet, and hire technical talent globally. So the vision was to basically break down geographic barriers and find talent that they can connect with companies around the world, specifically tech firms who are looking for that talent. The goal was to replace the traditional and often biased resume based screening and use standardized automated interview processes and AI technology to focus purely on a candidate's ability, problem solving, and real world skills. The idea was to find talent from around the world and give them opportunity. So they created a fast, efficient hiring marketplace where employers can submit job descriptions and Mercor, through their AI functionality, matches the individuals who best fit the job description. The whole idea behind this is to remove the human bias that has typically been associated with screening of resumes. And apparently, Mercor grew very quickly. What's interesting, if you fast forward to 2025, the company's mission has changed quite a bit. They've pivoted to focus on finding resources to accelerate the artificial intelligence economy. And what they're doing is basically connecting experts, including scientists, hobbyists, creative professionals, even sports analysts with major AI labs. So they have a database of experts that the AI labs are utilizing as a source of individuals who basically help train the AI models that we use today.
Experts sign up on Mercor's global platform where their skills are assessed through an interview process that is actually led by AI. This interview then crafts a comprehensive profile which captures both technical abilities and communication strength. You're then added to the database, and MERCOR then matches contractors with project based assignments. Things like evaluating AI performance, annotating and curating data, creating specialized content, or offering advice on domain specific challenges.
Artificial intelligence still relies on human judgment for subtle context, for deep expertise, and to help define the ground truth about various topics. So these domain experts are essential for fine tuning AI models and helping to reduce errors, address ambiguity, and enhance reliability for the real world applications that artificial intelligence is being applied to.
So, Donna, do you have to be a literal expert in a field, meaning you have advanced degrees, or can someone with just a lot of experience and passion for a subject or certain field apply for these or for this position?
Well, the short answer to that question is no, you don't need advanced degrees. And yes, anyone can go through the interview process and become part of the MERCOR database. There are very highly credentialed individuals who are part of the database, but there are also just subject matter experts and individuals who acquired that expertise through experience who are part of this database. And they are valued. The individuals with subject matter expertise are valued by the AI companies and have opportunity to participate in training the AI models. So basically, if you are a subject matter expert, whether it's in technology, science, health, education, media, sports, design, any specialized field, Mercur is actually actively seeking professionals to join its network. And the process is straightforward. You go to work.mercor.com, you create an account, you complete your profile, and then you take the AI interview, which is your opportunity to showcase your expertise. And once you're in the database, the AI that Mercor has built will match your expertise as job opportunities are entered into the database from the employer side and connect you up.
It's interesting. After you gave the website, I pulled it up just to see what
Mhm.
opportunities are available right now, and there's hundreds. But it's interesting. It is such a wide spectrum. I see Indonesian language expert, basketball expert. This includes fans, journalists, commenters, etc. Digital annotation experts, pension actuaries, medical fellows and residents, PhDs. There's even an audio clipping expert. So it's a
That's
very
fantastic.
robust network.
Yeah. Did you say basketball? They're looking for not just basketball knowledge, but fan knowledge too.
Yeah.
That's a good example of the wide range of talent and expertise that the companies that are using Mercor are looking for. I would recommend anyone with a passion and or expertise to take a look at this and become part of it.
Even if your passion or expertise is super niche, this is the perfect platform to capitalize off of that.
Definitely. This brings us back to Super Agency, the book we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, where AI is is giving superpowers to humans, and the way that the AI will be trained in order to do that is through the help of Mercor and the individuals in their database. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. And again, I highly recommend people who have an interest and or an expertise just take a look at it and consider becoming part of the database.
Definitely. If you're a subject matter expert, Mercor is actively seeking professionals like you to join its network. And the process is straightforward. Like you said, visit Mercor.com, create your account, complete your profile, take the AI interview, and show yourself off. By joining, you can contribute your skills to some of the world's leading AI labs, participate in innovative projects, and help shape the next era of artificial intelligence.
That was AI in the workplace. Now, how about AI in your pocket?
This is AI Toolbox, where we break down practical ways to use AI in your daily routine. So, for AI Toolbox today, I wanted to dig into something that sounds a little unconventional at first, but honestly, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Using AI to help train your pets using it as an actual structured tool for behavior shaping, consistency, and even owner education. I've used this a lot. I got a puppy last August, and I'm constantly using AI tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude to help with my training. Pet training requires three things: clear guidance, repetition, and a plan that is tailored to your animal's personality environment. And those are exactly the types of problems AI is phenomenal at solving.
So we're at a point where AI is basically a behavioral consultant on demand. If you think about it, what most pet owners struggle with is not usually high level aggression cases or specialized working dog training. It's the everyday issues: leash pulling, mild reactivity, house training, whining, chewing, barking at the door, separation anxiety, things that are common, frustrating, and not always intuitive to fix.
AI helps fill that gap by giving owners a structured approach. It synthesizes principles from behavioral science, classical and operant conditioning, reinforcement schedules, essentially all the fundamentals, and turns them into a plan that's actually doable.
And this is where the technology is genuinely useful, right, Maria?
Yeah, definitely. For example, like I said, I just got a dog. I've used it throughout the year and a half of her life. Before I even got her, I asked ChatGPT, I'm getting a dog. What are the essentials I need before I bring this dog home? Things that I didn't even think about: puppy proofing the house, hiding wires, all the
Mm.
supplies I needed. I flew with my dog. It helped me prepare for that. It thought of things that I didn't even think to ask.
Mhm.
Now that she's older, using it for reinforcing good behavior. So I would say the biggest issue with my dog is she loves people too much. She is overstimulated and she gets excited whenever she meets new people. I asked ChatGPT to help me address this behavior. And essentially everything that I was doing, it said was wrong from a behavioral standpoint. So she would
Oh.
jump on me, I would yell no, kind of push her off.
Mhm.
And ChatGPT said acting in a heightened manner, it was reinforcing that behavior. So
Mhm.
turn my back to her, stay completely still, don't say anything until she sits. When she sits, that's when she gets rewarded.
So it functions almost like a coach that keeps track of what you're doing and guides you through behavior shaping in a logical sequence.
Yeah. And it's great because the AI integrates information about me and my dog. So the dog's
Mm.
breed, its age, its temperament, where we live, the schedule, things we've tried before, and creates a tailored program. It's not giving me generic advice like walk your dog more. It's giving step by step schedules that look like an actual training protocol with specific cues and timing, reinforcements, what progression I should be seeing week by week, and how to adjust things. If the dog is not responding to things, the plan can be tailored.
And because AI can adjust instantly, you're not waiting a week between sessions with the trainer to troubleshoot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Would you consider AI a replacement for professional help? Probably not. If there's aggression, history of biting, that sort of thing, then you would want to get a professional probably in the loop.
Definitely. Any aggressive behaviors, bite history, trauma, severe anxiety definitely still requires an experienced trainer and veterinary behaviorist. Just to emphasize, AI is best for everyday behavioral challenges, and these are things that 90% of pet owners deal with. The real value here is accessibility. AI makes high quality training knowledge available to people who may not have the time or, more importantly, the resources to hire a professional.
Mm.
It gives them a plan, gives them confidence, and reduces the guesswork that usually leads to frustration.
Rather than just throwing up your hands and not knowing what to do next, you have a resource.
Use this tool in conjunction with your trainers.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Amazement. Thank you for joining us as we explore the fascinating world of artificial intelligence.
Your engagement makes this podcast even better. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so share your feedback. It helps other curious minds discover our conversations.
Do you have questions about AI? Do you want to suggest a topic for us to explore? Do you know of someone who would make a great guest on Amazement? If so, we definitely want to hear from you.
And remember to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming episodes. We've got fascinating discussions ahead as we continue to explore artificial intelligence.
Thank you for being part of the Amazement community. Until next time, keep exploring, questioning, and learning about this fascinating topic.